Welcome to Mamamia Out Loud. It's what women are talking about on Monday, the 30th of January. I'm Holly Wainwright. I am back from my holidays and glued to my seat from now on.
I'm Jessie Stevens.
I'm Mia Friedman.
I need to understand a new vibe shift. Now, you know, there's a moment that's often identified in the media when the culture goes, we're done with that thing and we're collectively moving on to this thing. And in my quick browses of the internet post-holiday, I've found lots of instructions, notably from a piece by the achingly cool British Vogue, telling me that what is over now is cringe and what is in is cool. Now, Daisy Jones wrote this piece called Please No More Embrace Your Cringe that basically spelled out that leaning into geeky earnestness has dominated our culture over the last few years, and that it's time to stop being proud of our inner dork and lean back into a bit of what she terms cool girl mystery. Now, she uses as examples of this in the zeitgeist, showing us that things are shifting, our obsession with Aubrey Plaza in White Lotus, for example, and elsewhere. She's very cool girl mystery. Evan Rachel Wood, Rihanna, they're saying Samantha Jones as opposed to Carrie Bradshaw, Chloe Sevigny, I would say her name wrong, I apologise, Sevigny, Janelle Monáe, and so on. Those are self-possessed, she says, have impeccable style or are carefree but with the charisma to pull it off. Not everyone needs to be relatable. Sometimes they can simply be cool. It's a brilliantly brutal piece, right, that goes on to say that if everything is relatable, nothing is special, and that pretentiousness and cool stops us from all being Ed Sheerans, which is, ouch, just like the meanest diss. So cool is back, but I didn't know that it ever went away. And Jessie, you're much cooler than me, so what was this cringe moment that I slept through?
Have you ever stalked a Gen Z on Instagram and noticed they only have 5 photos?
Yes.
Yes.
That is because they are so hyper aware of cringe internet content and how quickly something goes from cool to cringe. I was reading an essay by Anne Helen Peterson, and she was talking about going back to her home and going through boxes where it was love letters and diary entries and all of that. And she thought, Gen Zs won't ever have this. It is, they don't have them. And in fact, they are often deleting and wiping clean their slate to avoid the cringe of youth. And they're reacting to the millennial realization that what we put on the internet in 2008 that was mortifying still exists. And so they're very hyper aware of that. But I think the cringe thing, there's a few reasons why it exploded. Taylor Swift is a poster girl of cringe. Mm-hmm. Her awkward, dorky thing.
So embracing it, not pretending that she's cool, acknowledging that she's not a great dancer and she does love cats and
exactly.
she's geeky.
And I think the other thing that happened is that in, say, 15 years of social media or however long it's been really widespread, social media is about showing that you're trying hard. So if you started a small business...
It is for women.
Yes, and if you started a small business 20 years ago and you had a shop front, no one had to see how hard you were trying, right? You could kind of try hard in private. But cringe is trying really hard and displaying that.
Show your work.
Show your work. If you have a small business now, unfortunately, everyone's got to be able to see it, and you've got to go, there is nothing more important than this is my truth, this is who I am. Not only are people I don't know going to judge me for it, but more importantly, people I do know are going to judge me for it, and I just have to cop it. Like Holly and I have talked about with book stuff and book talk. We find it incredibly cringe, but we're like, we've just got to embrace it.
So is Harry, can men do cringe? Was Harry's spare, was that cringe? Like talking about his frostbitten penis?
Oh, so
Was there a lot of
cringe.
cringe in that? And so now that level of cringe is expected.
Yep.
Because it's perceived as authenticity.
Yes, because every piece of content needs to say something that has never been said before. That is the demand of content in the modern age.
See, I think for women it's different. I think for women, you know, there are so many podcasts by women and books about their failures and their mistakes.
Which is cringe.
Yeah, no, I know. But I think that what that is for women is that we're taught if you are a woman in society and you need to be self-deprecating, you need to lead with your trauma, your relatability, the things you got wrong, your vulnerability in order to be likable. What I think, though, is that the women who refuse to do that, Rihanna, who else did you say, Hol?
They were saying Aubrey Plaza is like the poster girl for it at the moment. There's Janelle Monáe. They're saying think Sam Jones instead of Carrie Bradshaw.
Yeah, so the idea of mystery, confidence, not being relatable and showing the stains on your top and the pimple on your face, not drawing attention to that. Beyonce is absolutely that. Beyonce has always been that. She's never had cringe.
Not trying, not saying too much. Coolness is about not trying so hard all the time. And I think what social media demands, TikTok more than anything, which is the direction all social media is going in, is that we've got to have constant opinions, constantly be seen. We have to care about everything so much. And there's something inherently cringe about caring. So
this championing of cool over cringe is a rejection of that, right? So they're saying we've lost in the cultural demand, it says this in this article in Gawker, in this cultural demand to emote, to declaim or to comment incessantly, we've lost any kind of idea of detachment. It's like do you remember when we were talking a few months ago about people crying, posting videos of themselves crying and being sad? And I was saying, don't be crying all over the internet. And people were mad with me about that because they were saying, no, it's relatable. It's show people your back. But is it like we're done with that? Now we want to go back to being sort of unattainable. We've had too much of everybody's attainability.
Yes. And I think that it's about being countercultural. Like someone getting on TikTok and showing, telling a horrifying story from primary school that's really embarrassing, or sharing I find it with body stuff a lot, and maybe because I'm getting a lot of pregnancy stuff, but someone will go, the pregnancy symptom no one told you about, and it'll be something and you go, oh my God, you're saying that out loud. There gets a point where that's oversaturated and everyone is just constantly confessing, and it's not countercultural anymore. It's actually the status quo. So I think that the cool is coming back in terms of it being radical again. To say
I've
less.
I've always wanted to be cool. I've always aspired to be cool, and I'm not even a little bit cool, but it was my number one aspiration when I was young, to be like an Aubrey Plaza, like 100%. That like cool, inscrutable kind of,
which is
the
a
kind
paradox.
Of girl who can drink a stiff whiskey and play pool.
It's a paradox of coolness, is that you have to not try. And the second you do,
that's why I'll never
cringe.
Achieve it.
But I have a quick theory about cringe that I have developed looking at the changing demographics of the modern world, which is that you know how people are having less babies, right? Mm-hmm. I think the antidote to cringe is siblings. So the thing that keeps your cringe in check is having siblings that roast you, right? So when I was growing up, if I said something, if I cried on the internet into my phone,
I
have
can you imagine?
3 siblings that wouldn't allow it, that would go, you are an embarrassment to this family.
Yeah.
You are...
I like that.
Like, whether it was
so true.
creating a
You
dance...
need a good friend, your mum.
Yeah. Mocking you. They'd mock you.
Oh, they'd mock you and they'd go,
yeah.
you're not acceptable.
Yeah.
I'm telling you this because I don't want you to go out into the world and behave like that.
Yeah.
Siblings keep you in check. My worry...
And they also keep all your cringe. Like, they know all your stories that the young people have deleted off the internet. They know them all.
Exactly. So if we get more and more children that have less siblings or no siblings, what we have is radical cringe going through the world, and friends don't often tell you. So I think it's on parents. I think that when your child is being cringe,
so nothing to add to our list of being responsible for.
Yes, you got to tell them, because otherwise this happens.